I divorced my husband over his cooking. I'm allergic to tomatoes, deathly allergic. If I eat a tomato or ketchup or anything related to tomatoes, my throat will close up and I'll stop breathing. I carry a few EpiPens on me at all times just in case. My husband Joel knows how allergic I am and has witnessed my allergies in person, so he knows it's nothing to joke about. Joel and I met in high school when I was living with my grandmother after my parents died. I was very close to my grandmother. Everyone knew who Granny was because she won the lottery at the age of 22, a huge prize that made sure she never had to work again. It was a huge inheritance and she told me she was leaving everything to me upon her death, but I had to be married to receive my inheritance. That wasn't why I married Joel. I fell in love with him in high school and watched him break several hearts until he finally saw me our senior year and asked me out. We've been together ever since and married last year. Grandmother has been sick for the past few months and I'm afraid she doesn't have much longer left to live, so I spend every moment I can with her. Recently, things have been off with Joel. It started off as little things. He would shoulder check me in the hallway, knocking me into the wall hard enough to bruise. He'd immediately apologize and say he didn't see me there. Then came the accident. I fell down the stairs and hit my head hard enough to black out. Joel rushed me to the hospital immediately and told the doctor I tripped and fell, but I could have sworn I was pushed. Then there were other things, like the time I was chopping veggies and Joel scared me so much that I nearly chopped my finger off. I got a nasty scar from that and he apologized over and over for that. I noticed the sly gleam in his eyes though, and I started getting suspicious of my husband. There was no way he would want to hurt me though, right? These things were all accidents, coincidences. Then came the day that changed everything. Joel said he would cook for me tonight. He made everything perfect. Perfect lighting, perfect music, perfect smells. I came home from work and was ready for a nice night with my husband. After dinner was ready, I sat at the table and he put soup in my bowl. I eyed the reddish liquid a little suspiciously. "There are no tomatoes in this, right?" I asked. Joel looked hurt that I would even ask that. "Of course not," he said, but he wouldn't meet my eyes as he dug into his own food. I shrugged. I trusted my husband. It barely took one spoonful for me to realize something was very wrong. My throat immediately started closing up and my face started turning blue from lack of oxygen. I gasped for breath and glanced at Joel in a panic. The jerk was just sitting there, calmly eating his soup as he watched me struggle for my life. I grabbed my EpiPen from my pocket and stabbed my side with it. It wasn't an instant thing, but eventually I got my breathing under control. I lay on the floor, coughing for breath. Joel finished his food and stood. "Joel," I whispered. He turned to look at me coldly. "You can't just die, can you?" he said flatly. "What?" My voice was hoarse as I stared at him. He shook his head at me in disgust. "All I want is your inheritance, and you can't just die so I can get it." He laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. Everything suddenly made sense. The little accidents. He had me completely fooled. I pulled out my phone and dialed 911, explaining the situation to the dispatcher. Instead of stopping me, Joel leaned back in his seat with a satisfied grin on his face. The police came quickly, blowing their sirens and shining their lights. The ambulance followed them. A couple of paramedics came to check on me while a few cops went to talk to Joel. I was surprised that Joel didn't deny anything. In fact, he seemed proud of the fact that he almost killed me. The cops arrested him immediately and he went with them without a fight. The paramedics got me in the back of the ambulance and I ended up spending the night at the hospital. I told my grandmother what happened and she paid for my divorce lawyer. Joel wouldn't sign any papers without seeing me first, so I allowed a supervised visit with a cop and my divorce lawyer present. The meeting didn't go well. He tried to attack me and got arrested instead, and that was the last time I saw my ex-husband.